What's up, guys? Josh from StrengthSide. This is episode 2 of the StrengthSide YouTube podcast. This is a leg workout that I did just the other day. I'm going to list the whole workout below so you guys can kind of have an idea of what I'm doing here. But as I did last time, I'm going to talk during this workout. So if you guys have any questions about the workout, go ahead and leave them below. But I'm going to answer a question that was posted on the last podcast episode, which was the 10-minute push-pull workout calisthenics routine. The question is from Jeff Hadley, and he said, "Hey Josh, great video. Have you done a video on your weekly workout routine? I'm curious how often you train. Thanks." Cool, Jeff. Thanks for the comment, and it got some thumbs up. And I've gotten this same question in a few different forms from other people. So it seems to be something that people are interested in. So before I can answer kind of like what I do in a week and what my training split is like, I think that it's very important to identify what my goals and my intentions are, right? And I think that this is kind of the problem, and this is a little bit of what I talked about last time, is a lot of the time we just see people doing something and we may think, this person seems to be in good shape, or maybe this person seems pretty cool. So then you start adopting their training style as your own, but you may not know what their specific goals are, why they are training that way. So then you start thinking that that's the way to train, but maybe it's not serving you and what you really want out of your physical practice, right? So my goals and intention for my training is first and foremost to feel free and just healthy in my body. The reason why that's such a priority for me is because I spent a lot of years feeling pretty shitty, and this is exactly why, because of what I just mentioned, I kind of fell into a way of training that I thought was just what any dude should do, right? And essentially, I was just trying to lift heavier and heavier. I had no I didn't pay any mind to flexibility and mobility and just general body maintenance, and I became a little stiff guy, and it sucked. So that's kind of led me into, hey, I don't want to feel like that ever again. So I'm always putting a priority on making sure that my body is optimized for movement and for feeling good. And that generally means that I need to train in full ranges of motion. And I need to make sure that I am just moving my body through its general capacity, all the capacity that it has, right? So my second, or one of my other intentions for my training is to be versatile, right? One of the things when I was stiff and just basically the only physical practice I had was lifting barbells and dumbbells, I lost all my athleticism, and I couldn't go out on the weekend and play basketball, right? And that kind of sucks. I mean, I could, but my knee would be hurting, my back would ache, I wouldn't be very quick or good, and I wanted to get that back. So now my training is influenced by what I want to be able to do. So maybe I might go to a capoeira class one day, and then the next day I might go to a climbing gym, and then the next day I might go play basketball, right? So I want to have that versatility of movement, and I want to have a big movement language. So the reason why a lot of people aren't able to do this is because we specialize too much, right? Specialization can kill a lot of just your general capacity to move as a human being. And it's fun to really go into something and to maybe get a little bit obsessed with something, and maybe you get really into squatting heavy, and you start to put a lot of time there, and you really want those numbers to go up, and you're really invested in it. But you got to understand that that's taking away from your ability to do other things, right? So in my training, I value transferability. And what I mean by that is I want everything that I do, my strength training and my mobility training, to transfer over into my capabilities to move. So an example of this would be when I was just lifting heavy dumbbells off my chest and curling them. That really doesn't have any transferability to any other athletic skills. But if I am able to, say, develop my handstand and get a better handstand, then when I'm doing capoeira and I want to do a cartwheel, that becomes much more easier, and I can start to move around on my hands more. Same thing with pistol squat, as you see me doing here. If I can have the ability to squat low on one leg, and I can, make that position stronger and more mobile, then when I want to move around in a low squat position, that becomes much easier, right? So always looking for how these not just skills, but just general movements can transfer into your capabilities to do other things. So now that we got intentions out of the way, you can decide if what I value and what my intention is kind of similar to yours, and might be something that you want to follow as well. So in terms of training splits go, or my weekly routine, I do work with a coach that does all my programming, and I really recommend that to anyone. I think investing in yourself and working with someone who has done the work before you and has students who have done the work before you is always going to get you the best results. So I'm doing something every single day. Sometimes I'll take one complete day off from the week, but that's been pretty rare lately. What my strength training looks like is usually push, pull, legs, and then an off day. So push, pull workouts, usually upper body focused, actually always upper body focused. And because I'm training with just body weight for the upper body, I can handle a little bit more volume. So that's why I have that 2-to-1 ratio. And then with the legs training, as you saw here, I'll do some weighted squats usually, which creates more fatigue, and you need more time to recover. So push, pull, legs. I mean, I've also done upper, lower splits, and those work great as well, right? You can make a lot of gains with those, especially in the beginning stages of your training. Now, I also do some handstand skill work that's outside of my strength training, and that's where I put my mobility in. So when I first started, so let's say maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, I was doing a lot more mobility work because I was much more inflexible. So back then I would do mobility almost 5 times a week usually. Nowadays it's significantly less, usually 2 to 3 days a week. And I think as you become more mobile, you can get a lot more out of mobility sessions, and they can be a lot less frequently. Now on top of this, what I do is, a lot of you guys know, is I do locomotion and capoeira style movement training, and this kind of comes in the form of, it's a little bit more conditioning. It's hard. I get my heart rate up, usually about an hour to an hour and a half of that, 3 to 4 days a week. So that's kind of what my week looks like in terms of training. Like I said, I'm doing something every day. Usually I have 2 sessions a day, but it's not like everything. I'm never having like 3 hours of strength training in a day, right? It's maybe some strength training in the morning, maybe some locomotion training in the afternoon, right? So a lot of things go into the weekly routine, and it keeps me moving, right? Like I'm moving every single day. And like I mentioned earlier in the video, I'm hitting on all my body's ranges of motion. I'm keeping the capacity to move, and I'm improving in strength and mobility and movement every day, every week. And that's what you want to go for. All right, guys, if you made it this far, I really appreciate you. This is super fun, podcasting, talking. So leave a question below if you want me to hit it up in the next round. Like I said, if you have any questions about this leg workout, feel free to comment below. I didn't really say anything about it. And yeah, like the video, subscribe to Strength Side. Oh, last thing I was going to mention is I'm probably going to do a video on a little home gym tour, because I've been getting questions about, hey, like what type of equipment are you using for this? Oh, like looks like your little gym setup's super cool. So I'll do a little tour. So if you guys have any questions about the little home setup, leave them below as well. Hey, appreciate you. Subscribe to Strength Side as always.